Okay. Let me start again, okay? Cảm ơn. Warm welcome to our Bookmasters, Hualien Dharma team, and brothers and sisters around the globe to Saturday Hualien Dharma talk. A very good morning. Let us start the session for today. Recently, disasters have happened so rampantly, one after another, due to the great imbalance of four elements. Now with COVID-19 virus pandemic around the world, Master have great concern and earnestly urge everyone to repent and adopt vegetarian meal. Going vegetarian is a way to express our sincere piety, to pray for peace and a world free of disasters. It is the purest way of love for all living beings. Now let us sing our sincere prayers into the 10 directions. May the Sangha land be free from disaster and peace prevails in the world. Let us sing the prayer song with sincere piousness.
In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. All my heart is filled with sincere prayer. From all corners of the world, let us join our hearts and pray for a world of harmony and peace. From my heart, I pray. May we join our hands, our hearts as one. Spread the seeds of great love, nurture wisdom evermore. Let us fill the world with hope. In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. May all the Buddhas know my prayer. All united with one heart, let us end our hate with love. May there be no suffering hereafter.
May all minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disaster in this world. Let us recite the universal love and blessings together. Loving respect, gratitude, and confidence. With loving respect, gratitude, and confidence, let us wish every person in our lives a healthy body and an enlightened mind and a total fulfillment in universal love. Now let us expand this consciousness to include every person in the world, every being in the universe, every being in the universe. Let our unified love make this wonderful world even better. Let us all immerse ourselves in the joyful embrace of universal love. Before we hear the wonderful sharings, let us invite our wood masters to lead us in paying homage to the triple gems. Let us pay our respects for these teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Cheng Yen by making 3 sincere bows. Please rise, palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved Abode Masters who could join us today. Okay, today we have sharings from Brother Wong and Brother Tan on the Affinity with Malay language translation, and followed by Sister Hui Yieng on the Insights by Pure Heart Translation team. Okay, before we go to that, let us invite Sister Su Ching for the weekly summary. Sister Su Ching, over to you. Ka'an.
Good morning, everyone. Let me just share my screen. Okay. So last week, I'm back in KL. We had Brother Joe and Brother Dino and Sister Denise. So let's do Brother Joe first. Brother Joe heard a story about a man who prayed to the gods for a child. He heard the story but dismissed it as he got entangled in the drama that was compiled. When instead he brewed the story to its essence, he came to realize the true meanings of the lessons. The first lesson is, another's action can affect your destiny. The second is that even with all the support, there will still be human problems indefinitely. We all need benevolent friends to help us on our way. If we keep to the path, we will find the answers we search for one day. So those were the essence from the lesson. Okay, then we had Brother Dino and Sister Denise, the fireflies from Mozambique. Brother Dino is from Mozambique and his wife, Sister Denise, is from Taiwan. Last Saturday, they shared their experiences of the many initiatives that they have done. Actually, there were lots of resistance as the culture there is individualistic, everyone for their own. Their resolve to help Mozambicans was greater than the things they thought they had known. Refusing to believe that people cannot be changed, they started planting seeds of hope everywhere they went, again and again. Notwithstanding the initial skepticism and prejudice because of race and religious differences, they soldiered on, armed with the belief that goodness is highly contagious. Many houses and schools built later, many lives have changed too. There is a story of Emilia of Maputo. Allow me to narrate to you. Emilia was once a drunkard. Her life laced with sufferings and misfortune. As she listened more to Master's teachings, she knew her life needed to move to a different tune. Dedicated to good, her life slowly but surely experienced a total shift. When she concentrated more on giving, she treated her life and every experience in it as a gift. People see her now as a role model when before her life was a mess. Police now have her on speed dial if there's an arbitration or mediation to address. The story is inspiring, but there are many more like her. A society can change their fate even faster if done together. A step at a time, every rock place has become a mountain. The heart is aligned to the right path. Love can change a population. And that's it from me. I will stop share right now and hand over to Sister Su Ching to introduce our next guest. Thank you so much.
Wow, so most wonderful sharing. Karen, Sister Su Ching for the great insights, and Karen, Sister Lily for hosting today's session. Karen, good morning, Brother Joe, brothers and sisters. Most wonderful morning, warm greetings to everyone. There's a slight change in the sharing. Sister Hui Yieng will share first because Sister Hui Yieng will need to rush off to recycling station after this, and Brother Wong and Brother Tan are able to take on the second half. Sister Hui Yieng is an engineer by profession. She's one of the pillar of the English Pure Heart translation team. In fact, the birth of Pure Heart translation was in a way triggered by her. Those who have heard these stories are always very inspired to learn the reason why she's a transformer. Because one day she heard Brother Joe's Sunday morning session, and she was awakened by that, by Brother Joe's. What can we do more? Because of that, it led her to contact me, and Sister Hui Yieng expressed a wish to contribute as a translator, and that's why she's the big benefactor to the birth of this Pure Heart translation, which we all benefited. Daily, we could see how the team worked very hard. Even though during Chinese New Year, there was no break at all. Everyone so long aboard, they have 7 o'clock morning session, or the Sunday series morning and evening, and they will be diligently translating. So, sister, let us welcome the diligent Sister Hui Yieng. Karen, over to you, Sister Hui Yieng. We can't wait to hear insights, Karen.
Thanks, Sister Su Ching. Hi, everyone, sisters and brother. A very good morning. It's 7 o'clock. It's very early. I was very excited. I couldn't sleep last night, so that's why I had some. I had a pimple on my face. So let me share my screen, entire screen window. I guess it's entire screen share. Okay, so let me share this, and then. Let's see, show presenter view. Okay. All right. So today I'm going to, it's merely just a revise of what our team has translated for the past few, well, for me, it's for the past few months, but for some of our seniors here, our pioneers here, they have been translating for the past few years. And so I would like to give credits to Sister Su Ching, Sister Yvonne, Sister Irene, Lily, Sister Effie, Sister June, Sister Steph, Sister Suisa, Sister Chinyan, Shatfun, Sihu, Moylin, and Huyin. So it's a group effort. Every effort counts, and without them, this group wouldn't. We wouldn't have that many of the translations. So today I'm going to share about Brother David Liu's talk. He has this weekly talk on Sunday evening, 8 p.m. So the reason I put this one as the first one is because so when Sister Su Ching asked me to do a 30 to 45 minutes of sharing, the first thought that came to my mind was like, no. So because well, I did a sharing, a short one last year. I was asked to do it 10 minutes. So yeah, 10 minutes, I probably could get by. Okay, 10 minutes, fine. You know, so but this one is like 30 to 45 minutes. Like immediately, red sign came up, and then I was like a capital letter and capital letter no, you know. But then I came across this episode, one of Brother David's episodes, and it's episode 17. He started way back in the year 2020. So this was episode 17. He has like 92 episodes right now. He's at 93, I think, this coming Sunday. So this episode 17 is about 懒惰虫. So 懒惰 is lazy and 虫 is worm. And I listened to this episode, and he shared about one story. So he says, let me see. He says, humans are weird, he says, because whenever we are asked to do something that we have not done before, then we give rise to fear, worries, and all kinds of negative emotions of refusal and rejection. Yeah, so this was what I experienced when I was asked to do this sharing. So what I did was I procrastinated the reply. I did reject at first because I know rejecting wasn't at all good. So I delayed responding to her message. I delayed like 2-3 days, and I repent for that. Sorry, Sister Su Ching. Then I came to across this story, and this story is about the. So he talks about there is this existing of this worm. He says it in a very humorous way. He always has this kind of this sense of humor that is very funny. So I like listening to his sharing, especially when he shares it in Mandarin. Because when you share it in Mandarin, when you listen it in Mandarin, it has the rhymes, the rhymes that makes it very funny. So what he says is there is this worm in the world that is everywhere in the world, and this worm is walking, crawling, and so one day we draw a circle around the worm. So we use a chalk, and then we draw a circle around this worm. So this worm crawls and crawls and crawls. And he bumped into this border, the border that the line, and he's like, stop. He's like, what is this? Right? He doesn't recognize what is this. Like, should I cross it? Should I not? Like, is it going to endanger me or something? And so he backed off, and then he tries to go the other way. He goes the other way, but again, since it's a circle, right? So no matter which direction he goes, he just bumped into that border, and then he doesn't want to cross it because he's very afraid to cross that line. So that is why we see here the what brother says is difficulty is just a feeling before one takes the first step, right? So 困难是踏出第一步之前的感觉而已, right? So this worm here, he says it in a very, very funny way. Let me see. So he says, when he tells that story, he says it like, this worm is very common. It exists everywhere in the world. 这从全世界都有. And then my mind was like, oh, I was pretty stupid that time. I when I listened to this sharing, I really thought that there is such worm. Like, what's the scientific name of this worm? Like, okay, this worm is afraid to cross the line. So my mind was like thinking, really, this what kind of worm is this? Does this worm live in the tropical forest or something? So it didn't cross my mind that he was actually talking about 懒惰虫. And then when he divulged the whole answer is like 全世界都有, and then 这就是懒惰虫. I was like, oh, come on, get out. And then I was like, okay. So that was, I should have thought of it. He was talking about the topic, so obviously that was the 懒惰虫. And why 懒惰虫is because 懒惰虫 is because you're not prepared, right? Because you're afraid of taking the challenge. Let's face it, if you just do some work, homework, like for example, this sharing, right? Okay, 45 minutes, big deal. So what if you could just read from the text? That's what I'm doing. You already had to translate the text, and you just copy and paste from it. You read it, because not everyone read the translation text on that day. So not everyone are as diligent as everyone here right now, joining Dharma session 7 o'clock in the morning. People might miss it. People might not have come across the stories at all. So this is actually a revision to benefit those who haven't read about who haven't attended his sharing. I'm sorry that the airplane sound is there. So I made some note here. So he says, the moral of the story is that we have to take the challenge because if we're just staying within our comfort zone, we refuse to do something new because of the fear, the illusory fear that we create for ourselves, that our mind created. You know, it's like a chalk. You could just cross it. It's a flat surface. It's nothing. Just take a step, and you'll realize that it's just that. Right, so so that is why we do not let our fear back us off or hinder us in dealing with people matters. So there's a Xingzi aphorism here that are right here. It becomes in Mandarin it's called 碰到困难是能力不足，碰到烦恼是方法不对. And I translated it to be becomes a problem when we lack the experience, and it becomes an affliction when we use the wrong method. So let's take the first step and take the second step, and like what Brother David always liked to say, 一回生，二回熟，三回变高手. So it says, like, if you try it for the first time, you're a newbie, and then the second time you're getting familiar with it, and the third time you become an expert. Yeah, so let's see, fearful to take the challenge even though they're not as incapable as they thought they are. So yeah, so it's not as difficult as you think it is. You might have the capabilities, and if you're assigned a task, just take it. All right, and one thing is, most of the time is that we're always giving too much importance to the result. Like, oh, I'm asked to share, I'm asked to do the sharing. What would be the result of it? I'm scared that I would speak something stupid, or I would say I would slip. I would say something embarrassing. You know, I'm scared of the result. And you forgot about the process. You forgot that when you do something like this, it shares, it benefits people. Yeah, things like that. So, okay, that's the first story. And now let's go to the second story. So this is also from Brother David, and it is also from one of the volunteers' morning assembly. It's on a Monday. It's on a Tuesday. So Master talk about this Indonesian man. This is an Indonesian man. His name is Sadiman. So this story, there are two stories here. The first one is is what Master told us. This Indonesian man is like 69 years old, and he's from Java. And 6 years ago, there was a huge piece of land in Indonesia that was used for slash and burn farming. So slash and burn farming means you cut off all the trees, right? You cut off all the trees, and then you burn the cut trees, the chopped trees, and then you burn it because the ashes will eventually be the nutrient for the ground, so that you can grow crops for farming. So that's the kind of slash and burn agriculture they had. But these land, they set up the fire, but it's out of control. The whole mountain of forest was completely destroyed in fire, and not a single tree was spared. So for a long time, over the years, the land was barren, arid, the soil is dried up, and couldn't plant anything on it. Even the water sources, rivers, all it's like gone already. So this farmer saw that, and he felt so disheartened. He felt sad looking at that bare piece of land. So he feels a need to take care of the nature's land because it's a source of sustenance. It's the growth for all beings, and it gives life to all things on earth, right? So he decided to, he gave rise to one thought, and he says, I'm going to plant trees. What kind of trees? He says, I'm going to plant banyan trees, banyan and ficus trees. So why banyan, B-A-N-Y-A-N, and ficus, F-I-C-U-S? Because these are the trees where their roots can spread really far and deep into the ground, so that these roots can hold the ground together and then store water. So that's how you could restore the the ground, the nature and environment. And that is why he planted. So he started planting trees one by one, this 69-year-old guy. And then, you know, when you need to plant a tree, you need to buy saplings. It's not that you put a seed there, you bury it and boop, it comes out. No, because the land is already dry, right? So he has to buy the saplings from elsewhere. And to buy that, you need money. So back then, one sapling cost like $7. So $7 is like 200 Taiwan dollar, and it's like she says buys like 30 ringgit a sapling. So he actually used up all his savings to buy tree saplings, and the villagers at the place says, "Are you crazy?" He told him, "Are you crazy? You used your money to buy trees to plant. What is going on with you?" So the villagers, they have this belief, right? So they said trees have spirits. Their beliefs. Trees have spirits, and if you move them, like you buy the saplings and you transplant them to another place, it will bring bad luck to you. So that's their belief. But Sariman never entertained. He was not wavered. He persevered. He doesn't believe in this sort of things, and he still stick to his belief, plant one by one. So then let's see, and well, over the years he managed to plant over 11,000 trees right now. As you can see from the picture here, this whole piece of land, can you imagine, is planted by this madman here, planting 11,000 tree madman, right? So it starts from one tree, like the saying, innumerable seeds come from one seed. So the forest too comes from one little sapling over the years. So not only the trees have grown bigger, it becomes a forest, restore the mountains, it restores the life's vitality, it forms the river, it even forms river, you know, how miracle works. So you have trees and then you have the river by itself because, well, it rains and then you know, gradually grow, the nature works itself. So then back then, when the land was dried up, people couldn't plant a lot of crops, and they harvest only like once a year. But after he planted all his trees, they could have 2 to 3 harvests every year. So this is what he brought to the society. So let's have a look at the video before we go into the story that Brother David shared. Let's take a look at this video because of his effort, his effort has gained the attention, the global attention, and then reporters around the world came to interview him, and this is one of the videos.
Saya Sadiman, kan umur 69 tahun. Dan usaha saya menggarap lahan hutan, ingin menghijaukan hutan, bisa lebat, dan saya tanami beringin, bulu ipe, dan banyak bermanfaat untuk masyarakat sini. Ya, awal-awal itu gunung itu udah kebakaran, Mas. Terus airnya mati, terus saya mempunyai greget itu. Kalau tidak saya tanam beringin, daerah ini daerah gersang itu loh, Mas.
Kenapa beringin?
Kalau beringin itu Mas, banyak mengandung air. Beringin ipe bulu itu banyak mengandung air itu. Yang pertama kali kemarin itu 3 Juli itu kemarin itu sudah ingin membesarkan air terutama. Terus kedua, orang hidup membutuhkan udara bersih sama. Dengan air ya. Terus membutuhkan orang hidup membutuhkan udara bersih untuk paru-paru dunia. Dan ketiganya untuk penanggulangan bencana alam. Itu pakarnya sangat panjang. Saya disindir-sindir kalau memikul ringin itu tidak masyarakat tidak nyaman gitu, merasakan tidak nyaman gitu, karena sistemnya jiwanya masih anisme, soalnya tempatnya tetek melek itu loh masih gitu loh.
Dulunya dianggap orang gila, ini punya kambing ditukerin bibit ringin gitu kan, dianggap masyarakat orang gila, tapi hasilnya sekarang mendapatkan air buat mencukupi.
Alrighty. So yes, he said one thing that matches what Master says. That is the forest is the lung of the earth, right? So we need to breathe, they need to breathe, everyone needs to breathe. So let's not cut trees, let's plant more trees. And so one story from Brother David here, he says, so in 1988, this brother was 38 years old. He came to invest. Well, you don't need to read this long sentences. I'm just doing it for my own notes. So he came to invest in Malaysia, and then in 1992, Sister Hui Yieng, who is his home sister, joined Sidi, and then he persuaded brother to join, and then brother said in a very humorous way, he says, you know, you should thank me for not forbidding you to join Sidi. You do your charity work, I play my golf. That's what he said. But then in 1996, where the economy in Malaysia is very good, there was a lot of development, the construction of the buildings, the real estate development was flourishing, and then many invested in properties. So to do properties, to build buildings, you need bricks, right? And during that time, there wasn't many brick factories in Malaysia. So most of the suppliers are from Taiwan. There is one particular supplier, a manufacturer, a big one in Taiwan, that supplies bricks to Malaysia. Even the Twin Towers construction back then, the government actually wanted to give the contract, the 2 years contract to this Taiwan manufacturer to supply bricks for these Twin Tower construction. But then this Taiwan manufacturer rejected. Why? Because the business that he has there, just not just doing this Twin Towers, was so lucrative, very, very lucrative. Imagine that there's not many, there's no big suppliers at all to supply this brick. So Brother David knew about this opportunity, right? And then he was thinking about it, and to let you see how lucrative it is that 1 month you could earn 净赚. That means it's like net profit 5 million Taiwan dollar. So that's like 50,000 ring. 500,000 ringgit a month. Right? So then he says, okay, let's do it. So one production line can give me 5 million Taiwan dollar a month. Then let's go for 2 production line, and we'll have 10 million Taiwan dollar a month. Then he gave the deposit. He says, all right, we gave this, not the whole deposit, but partial of it. But then something happened that time. The lawyer told him that, hey, this piece of land that you want to invest in Malaysia, we have this rule that you have to give partial, certain percentage of it to the Bumiputra, right? You cannot just purchase the whole land, because otherwise their privilege would be shredded. Like you would fight for the the privilege. So because of that issue, the whole investment thing was delayed for 1 month. And during this 1 month, one morning, so Brother David just woke up, and then because in the morning, mind was very clear. He always says that. He always says all his 8 published book was written in the morning, because the morning is the golden time of the day. So he suddenly had this thought, and he says, is this the right decision? Because back at that time, he already have the clothes factory. He's already in city. And now he wants to invest in this brick investment. Is it the right decision? So what he did was he used this 1 month of time. It was delayed for 1 month, right, because of the land issue. And then he says he used this 1 month of time. He flew back to Taiwan and he asked Master, he said, Master, I want to invest in this brick business. I want to set up a factory that produce brick, right? He asked Master, should I do it or not? And then Master replies, Master said, oh, so you want to do this brick business, Hongzhuan, in Chinese it's called Hongzhuan. So you want to do this brick business. All right, we have another Taiwan brother too. He also wants to go to China to open up a factory, a cement factory, and invest there. So Master says, what you're doing is going to destroy the forest, be it the bricks, be it the cement. Because why? Because to produce the brick, you need the soil, the earth, right? So you need to excavate the mountains. You need to go deep into the mountains to excavate them. So Master just lightly says, better don't do it. And Brother David listened to, take it to heart. He went back, he stopped the whole business investment thing, even though the lawyer says, hey, wait, are you crazy? You don't just come in when you want to and leave when you want to. This is like a big opportunity. You've put in some deposit here. But he followed what Master says. Stop it. And you know what? In 1997, if he if he invested in this business, and there was a huge economic crisis happened in 1998, I think 1997 or 8, that the ringgit keeps coming, the value of ringgit keeps coming down because it was a very worse economic crisis. And then you have like too many bricks, too much in demand, then you couldn't recover your costs, right? So luckily, he did not make the decision of going ahead with that business, with that investment, right? So don't be greedy. The moral of the story is don't be greedy and don't cut trees. Even though I was, back then I was I was stupid. I saw my father chopping the branches of the tree, and I said, no, don't do that. You're killing the trees. But actually, you're not. You're just cutting the branches, right? You're not cutting the root, so it will grow bigger. So let me see. We should seize time. This is what Master says. We should seize time to save our dried up earth. So long as one has the heart to protect the Mother Nature, one can make a difference. This is the best story here. Just one man in Indonesia, the whole Indonesia can make a whole forest. So it will grow into a forest of virtues. This is because one thing that Master says, when you do this business, you are creating bad karma. You're creating evil cause. So do not do that. And let's see. We have these are just some of the pictures that I planted in my hometown. This is bitter gourd, and then this is like corns, and then this is like over-ripened bitter gourd that opens up. And then these are some of the chrysanthemum trees, and then this is like Jigonghua. I don't know what it's called in English, but some kind of flowers. And then there's also this is my dog, and yeah. So plant more trees, flowers, and that's the there's one inside from, well, the title of the sharing is inside of inside my insight, right? But most of it I share what has been translated. But one insight that I have personally is that from my experience of translation, I used to think that, you know, you have to have perfect grammar, you have to have like good English, you have to write good like use bombastic words, or you have to like make sure the sentence is grammatically correct. But no, actually no, because why? Because one time I came across one translation from another sister, and it's very simple. It's a very short sentence, but it somehow I got a realization, a deep realization from it. So with that, I would like to say that is you do not have to have like very good English. Like what Sister Sis Hui shared before, she said one day master, not master, but one of the boat master maybe, that told her how to be a good translator, right? It's not like how good your English is. No, it's how you absorb what you listen, and then you assimilate it. You really understand it with your own heart, and then you translate it out with your own words. Because it's not like you translate one sentence, right, and only this people. It's not like only this level of people will understand, but there are many different capabilities, many different understanding, different people out there that could benefit from your translation. So that's my own insight from this sharing. So thank you very much. I think it's over the time now. Thank you. Back to Sister. Stop sharing.
And our Sister Hui Yieng for the most wonderful sharing, most animated and interesting. Trust everyone have benefited so much from this sharing as much as I do. In fact, this is barely a scratch. There are so much more treasury, because every morning there is this translation for the 7 o'clock morning volunteers talk, to Sunday morning Brother Joe's session, and evening Brother David's. And from time to time we also receive a request to translate, be it for TIMA or even the ITER association translation trainings. So there are a lot of treasure out there. We still welcome translators. Anyone keen to join the group, please let us know. The field is so vast. And please share the transcript to more. Trust everyone can benefit a lot from this. We will invite Brother Joe to share after Brother Wong's and Brother Tan's session. Okay, next we wish to invite Brother Wong Sing Chooy and Brother Tan Ching Li, very special couple, brothers. We are very grateful to Brother Wong. Brother Wong Sing Chooy has joined Saturday Hualien Dharma team for many years already, and we are very grateful when the Kaohsiung online they opened the field of blessing for Malay translation. So we invited Brother Wong to join us, and Brother Wong has subsequently brought in a lot of awesome retired teachers who could help us to edit all the wonderful translation. Should you let us invite Brother Wong and Brother Tan to share? Over to you, Brother Wong. I'll share the PowerPoint.
Can you hear me? Hello. We can't see you, Brother Wong, and on your video.
Yes, a very good morning.
Yeah, okay.
Brothers and sisters, thank you for the invitation. Can you please start? So the topic of sharing for today is my affinity with Malay language translation. Will be shared by me. My name is Wong Sing Chooy, and also Brother Tan Chin Li. First, I would like to introduce where I'm from. I'm from Nibong Tabau, Penang, Malaysia. Can you please look at the next, please? Next, please. Next slide, please. This is the place where I'm staying. You can see here. This is Nibong Tabau and the Penang Island. When we talk about Penang, Most likely, we are talking about the island, a beautiful island. But Penang is actually consists of two parts, the island and the opposite mainland. We call it province variously. You have the north, you have the center, and the south, and in the south. And to go to the Penang Su Ching center is around 45 minutes from Nibong Tabao. So I give you an idea where Nibong Tabao is. And Nibong Tabao is also very far away from Kuala Lumpur. So the person who invited me today for the speech is actually staying in Kuala Lumpur. How can this happen? All this is affinity. Yuan. Let's see what affinity is. Next slide, please. Now, what is affinity or Yuan? It's a natural liking for and understanding of someone or something. That is for people and things that can draw to us. The strong is a natural liking. That's why some people can draw a lot of people toward him, and he has a very strong affinity. And in biochemistry, now let's look at the diagram here. You see this diagram, you have circle and the center, we call it the nucleus. And the circular, we call it orbit. It's just like the universe. You have the orbit, you have the stars and so on. Then it's surrounded by electrons. For example, we take chlorine. Most likely, most of us would be able to know what chlorine is. If you go to the swimming pool, they use chlorine to sterilize water. They sprinkle substances in the form of solid called sodium hypochlorite. So they sprinkle in the water and then chlorine is liberated to sterilize water. Likewise, our water used at home also being sterilized by chlorine. So chlorine in the outer layer, you have only 7 electrons. So in order to be stable, so it will take in 1 electron. That is the incoming electron. So that it will form an octet. Octet means 8 electrons. It's just like what we are trying to do. If we have the 8, we practice 8-fold path, then we will come to a very, we will maybe achieve liberation from samsara, something like that. This is another meaning in biochemistry for affinity, but our meaning will be a natural liking. That's why today I'm invited by Sister Su Ching. I would like to thank her very much, my utmost gratitude. So let's move on and see what affinity is. So I have met the Buddha 2,500 years ago and met the Buddha again in Myanmar, 2019. All because of the affinity again, that is daily wisdom at dawn. Because I have the habit of attending daily wisdom at dawn at 5:20. So initially, I am not good in Mandarin. But how did I improve my Mandarin? So initially, actually, I have to ask someone for help, even to write a message, because I did not know Hanyi singing. That was in the year 2012, about 10 years ago. Okay, next. Now, this is what we did in Myanmar, our affinity. We went for the what is called the paddy seed distribution, and after each section, we collected a lot of donation, and we were counting money, the Myanmar money, at the end of each session. Next, and this is what we distributed. That is edit sheet. Okay. So after coming back, my affinity with this Pusat continues. Then she invited me for the first sharing at this platform. That is the English group Dharma Wisma at Dawn session. Yeah. So my first sharing was carried out during the MCO, June the 13th, year 2020. So I talk about the making and distribution of face shields during the MCO in Nimbong Sabao. Next, please. That we distributed to hospitals. These are the in hospital Sungai Bakap, about 15 minutes from Nimbong Sabao. And this is Bukit Pancho, only 5 minutes drive. And this is the police headquarters. And also the Penjara Seberang, the jail, we also went to distribute. Next, please. So we had a chance to talk to all these frontliners, and we thank all of them with utmost gratitude for serving the Rakyat. In Malaysia, citizens, we call them Rakyat. Without fear or favor, we wish them good health and ever safe in carrying out their duties. And they were very touched indeed, and grateful to the volunteers for their contribution. We are asking for any forms of return. And the third time we visited Dr. Nabila at Sungai Bakap Hospital. She told us that she actually had learned about the silent mentor at the medical faculty in the University of Malaya. We also invited her to join IMA in the near future. Thank you. So how do I join the Malay translation, the Malay language translation team? This came about last year. End of last year, I received a message from Sister Su Ching. The message goes like this. Good day, brother. So sorry. My HP lost all the correspondences. Forgot if brother could help with the calcium transcript. Maybe I can share an example here of what we are doing. We are looking for penerjemah. That's what she wrote. That is a translator. Then I reply, dear Sister Su Ching, glad to hear from you. How often, please? Dear brother, so far it is once a month, and everyone can do when available. It's based on assignment posting. Who is available can offer to do. Else is okay. Can brothers welcome to invite friends to join. Anyone also can. Not necessary must be Chooy volunteer. Then my reply was, so help when I am available. Now busy calling clients, being quarantined at home daily for the past 3 weeks. The NGH General Hospital invited Tima to head up the Seberang tribe. Sister Moiling had talked to me about this matter. Do keep in touch. Good night. That was my reply. I was not committed yet, but he has already added me in. So that's all about the affinity, how it came all about. My joining the Malay language team translation team. So I was very touched by Mei Ying Lao Sư, who said that 不要厉害才开始，要开始才厉害. That made me feel at ease to begin with the Malay translation. Don't be great to start. Just start to be great. That's good and a very big encouragement for me. So the Malay transcript learning experience, it really makes me take Dharma to heart, because in order to translate, I actually have to understand, find out the meaning of the Chinese terms in English, and also finally in Bahasa. For example, producing is to take Dharma to heart. And in Bahasa, Dharma meresap ke dalam hati. Meresap here means it slowly diffuses into our heart. That's how the Dharma comes into the heart. And another example, saya murid baharu yang baru belajar. I'm a new student, just begin to learn. So Happy New Year is actually Selamat Tahun Baru. It's baharu here means new. Baru means just. So it's actually there's a difference in the Malay terms, Malay words. So much I have gained from the Dharma by doing the Bahasa or Malay language translation. So I am also very glad that Brother Han, when I invited him for the sharing this morning, he didn't go away. He is with me, and he's in my house now. Shall we cordially invite Brother Tan for his sharing this morning? Brother Tan, please. Thank you, Brother Wong. Very good morning to all brothers and sisters. Next. 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 Hey, wait. Sharing by okay. The first one I would like to introduce myself. I'm actually quite young. I'm a greenhorn in this city because I just joined city 1 year ago. First, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Tan Ching Lee, a retired Malay language teacher for about 35 years. I taught Malay language, that is Bahasa Melayu, only to Form 4 and Form 5 students. And I think 2 years when I came out from the varsity, I taught Form 6 for 2 years only. After that, my headmaster said, it's better I go down to Form 4 and Form 5 to help those non-Malay students because in SPM, the Bahasa Melayu subject is very important. If they fail the Bahasa Melayu subject, then they fail the whole SPM exam. I was very interested in the Malay language and Malay literature since I was a secondary school student. Besides that, I have a strong liking to own Malay books, such as Malay dictionaries. Normally, those good Malay dictionaries in the market, I will purchase it. If I can't get those dictionaries, like the old one by R. Winstead, Wilkinson, and whatnot, I will photocopy it. Then I'll keep it and then I'll refer it. Even some dictionaries written by Masdan, quite old one. I also last time I used to know very well-known Malay linguist, that is Pak Asraf. He had a good collection of all these dictionaries. So I just borrow from him and I took it back to Penang and I sent it to the shop and they photostat it for me and I do the binding. Now I'm still keeping it and I'm still referring. That day got a friend asking me, he said, Paramiswara is not a person, it's something like a title, Duli Yang Maha Mulia. And I refer to the dictionary that I have. Paramiswara actually comes from a Sanskrit word. That is Maha is a title. Maha Duli Yang Maha Mulia. So from there, I can get the meanings. Because new dictionary normally some of the words they don't use it. They call it archive. They just throw away. So I have like comes there one. I got four editions. The first edition, second edition, third edition. Now it's the fourth edition now. Now the latest one is Kamus Dewan Perdana. It was published last year. Now the most comprehensive one is Kamus Perdana, Kamus Dewan Perdana. Besides that, I like grammar books. Normally those good Malay grammar books I'll buy and I'll read them. Then I have a habit of subscribing Malay magazines, especially Pelita Bahasa and Dewan Bahasa, journal, all written in Malay. All these magazines, they discuss about the grammar of Bahasa Melayu. In my free time, I spend my time reading some Malay literature books, novels, short stories, poems, and so on. In short, my reading materials are mostly written in the Malay. Okay. Number two, I would like to say, talk about become Chooy volunteer. I joined Chooy as a volunteer 6 years after my retirement. as a Malay language teacher. In October 2021, that is last year, I completed my CNC training, and in November 2021, I was invited by Brother Wong to join the Malay language translation team. At first, I was quite reluctant because I'm not well versed in the Dharma. And if I translate the text wrongly, then I feel very bad now. Because to me, I must know the Dharma very well. If I translate it, let's say you're writing an essay out of point, and then to me it's not right. So we have to really understand the meaning in Mandarin, the Dhamma written in Mandarin, then we can translate it into Bahasa Melayu. However, Brother Wong assured me that we will work as a team. Because of his assurance, at last I took up the task. At present, I am still under training to be a Sun Wei. Hopefully, I shall complete it in May this year and then proceed to become a fifth top Su Hui Yieng within 2 years. To me, at this age, it is better late than never. And I shall try my best to invite more friends to join the Malay translation team. Next, the third one I would like to talk about by Bodhisattva path continue. Why I continue my Bodhisattva path? This is because the Malay translation really enables me to take the Dharma to heart. Besides that, I get to know more people, more friends, and we learn from each other. And then the third one, time is priceless. So we have to seize the moment. So, and now I can spend my time wisely and meaningfully as a security volunteer doing some social work. Next. Lastly, I would like to say, just do it, but the right thing. That's all. Thank you. Brother Wong, please continue. Thank you very much for Brother Fran's sharing, and I really very grateful to him because I could work hand in hand with my neighbor a few doors from my place, and he is very helpful whenever I call upon him, and he will come over my place, and that's how I improve my Malay language. He's actually a very experienced Bahasa language, or we call it Malay language teacher. And I really learned a lot from him, and I hope we can work together and a team, and we will progress together. And before I end my sharing, let's look at Ching's aphorism by Master Cheng. You must be determined to reach the goal of becoming a bodhisattva. A bodhisattva will do what he has to do, no matter how difficult it is, and he will do so as happily as if he were playing the game. Let's do our move on the bodhisattva path as happily as playing a game. And we should cherish our bodies since they can help us to do good deeds. We must make good use of our bodies, for all our achievements are accumulated gradually through bodily actions. I'm grateful for all your kind attendance. The little light of each firefly illuminating bright and far. So are you ready to invite more? Let's invite more people to join our team. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And then
okay, very grateful to the brothers and also Sister Hui Yieng for the sharing. And I think very importantly, I think what we have heard today is that translation does help. As teacher Mayun mentioned, that you don't have to be good at it to start, but you have to start to be really good at it. And we see that from Brother Tan, that indeed, even though we by ourselves may be lacking in certain aspect, for example, to Dharma, we're not so sure of the Dharma itself. However, when we work as a team, not only would we have more confidence, but we also can make up for each other's deficiencies. So, for example, Brother Wong and Brother Tan living as neighbors, but also complement each other very well. And I think one thing that really amazes me is how Brother Tan is so passionate about the Malay language itself and continuously to go in deeper. While I'm sure Brother Wong probably try hard to also understand the deeper aspects of the Dharma itself. And this is a growth for all of us. That one of the things that Brother Tan mentioned that really caught my attention was that in the dictionary, if you don't use these words, that it's going to be removed. I think similarly, a lot of the Dharma that, as Brother Wong mentioned, the affinity, perhaps we know of each other, perhaps we were there in the assembly 2,500 years ago, but how much of the Dharma has been lost because we are not using it or we are not translating it. And if you believe it, that if you don't translate it, then no one hears it. And if no one hears it, how would they actually use it? So it becomes very hard for something like that to be passed on. And then eventually it might just disappear. So, so it becomes very important. And because of translation, that many of the ideas can now be passed on to a different language. And because it gets passed on to the different language, maybe some of the words that were not so often used can now be kept in the dictionary, can now be kept and not be removed. Just like the wisdom itself, it's always around us, but can we actually keep it? Can we actually keep it so that it's not gone? It's not removed. Many thanks to Sister Hui Yieng's sharing also. I think that being a translator, the one that benefits the most is probably yourself. You remember all the stories very well because you are right there and you're probably grinding your brain trying to figure out how to translate certain words and stories. And I think that by going through the right choices of words and phrases, you have to dive in deeper into the Dharma and also the story itself. And I think that is the one that benefits the most is yourself, because you put in the effort. And just like what towards the end, Master says, just do it, because by doing it, you've benefited the most, even though everybody else gets benefited too because of the translation. But because of your efforts, you put in the effort, you put in the time, so you actually get the most out of it. So thank you, our translators. We need you as the bridge. And I'm sure, just like the firefly, by yourself, it's not enough. By all of us, we can be more courageous and we can do more. Okay, thanks to all three of you. Thank you.
And Brother Joe for the feedback, giving us the tips on how to keep the wisdom. The one that benefits most, in fact, during translation is ourselves. And the field of blessing is vast, not only for English, we also have for Malay. You can join in as either translator, or as Sister Hui Yieng said, we need not be the most perfect. Don't really have to be the one who has a very good command in English. In fact, for myself, look at myself, actually, I see myself more like a Malay. I think I'm better in Malay than English, but yet somehow I landed up in English first. So that's why everyone can come. You can come, be it as a translator, editor, proofreader, even as a porter, or someone who come and copy and paste the pictures on the translation script. So we welcome everyone. Anyone who's interested, please can register with either one of us. It's borderless, as you can see. Like we are from Central KL in the middle, but then Brother Wong, they are from the northern side, and of course we have from other states as well, or other countries. So it's like Sister Sharon, she's in our team for this Cantonese translation. So it's in fact very borderless, the field of blessing. Thank you, Brother Joe again. We are very grateful to Brother Joe, Brother Sing Chooy, Brother Tan Ching Lee, and Sister Hui Yieng. We will hear more from this translation team at least once a month. We will hear, because definitely each time they are translating, they have so much great treasury that they have learned, and this is the best time to share. And hopefully not only benefiting oneself but also others. Brothers and sisters, for your presence, for supporting us. Thank you. Hope that each of us could sustain this Dharma joy and take in another piece of Masters and Hualien love to our life. Let us invite Brother Joe to lead us in making 3 bows and Master Chen Yen as we depart to apply these wonderful teachings in our everyday life. Let us pay our respects to our teachers of life, universal truth. Come together. First bow. Second bow. And third bow. Okay, one. Okay, maybe if you wish, we can take one group picture. Let's take a group picture. Everyone, good morning. I think Sister Hui Yieng is at the recycling station already. Okay, if it's okay if you are not in uniform, please, welcome to join us in this photo session. Sorry, those in YouTube, maybe next time you are welcome to join the Zoom site as well. Then we can capture these footprints. Okay, let us wait for Sister. Okay, good. Sister Siva. Yeah. Okay, the place is brightened now. Okay, Sister YY 好 our 3-in-1. Everyone, take good care. Stay safe. 大家. Okay, take care.
Okay.